The Tournament of Power rages on as Goku and Vegeta battle against the strongest warriors from Universe 9, a collective group of unstoppable monsters who want nothing more than to defeat Goku in the entirety of Universe 7. This week's episode was a veritable monster mash as we watched Goku and Vegeta go up against some of the craziest warriors from Universe 9. Unfortunately, not all of them got to do too much, but at least we finally got to see them in action. And we also got to see what happens when the Trio de Dangers work together. Before I go any further in my review, let me go ahead and just get this nitpick out of the way, and it's something that's been on the minds of a lot of fans of the series. Yes, this is an episode that does reuse some pieces of animation that we've already seen from the series, and no, I'm not going to comment on it any further, as it's few and far between, and they dress it up enough that it honestly is kind of hard to notice. So, moving forward, this episode right here was just plain awesome, especially because the first half of the episode was basically Goku fighting on his own against all of these fighters from Universe 9, and some of them are pretty damn devastating in what they're capable of, especially because Goku doesn't want to blow his load, so to speak. He doesn't want to go Super Saiyan Blue quite yet, because he doesn't want to waste his power. He has to be super strategic. Not to mention, we can finally put one of these big fan theories to rest. One of the previews for this episode showed that Goku had this white ki barrier that was surrounding his entire body, and it very much is that. It is simply a barrier made out of ki, and the reason that he's using this is so that he doesn't want to get hit by Lavender's poison. This is a pretty awesome technique, and I didn't even think it was something that would be possible in the series, but it shows that off-screen, apparently Gohan was teaching all of the fighters of Universe 7 how to deal with the individual fighters from Universe 9. Not only can Goku utilize this ability, but so can Vegeta. Due to the fact that Goku and Vegeta don't want to waste their power too much, they don't even really utilize their Super Saiyan abilities that much in this episode. In fact, Vegeta is the only one who decides to go Super Saiyan Blue, and that's mostly because he gets incredibly pissed off, and Goku just goes to his regular Super Saiyan form in order to take down his enemies. And his enemies are varied and very exciting in this episode, so let me just discuss each of them one at a time. First up, of course, there is the Trio de Dangers, which consists of Bergamo, Lavender, and Basil. And when they actually fight together, they're able to utilize a technique which is known as the Danger's Triangle, where they move around their opponents in a triangular formation, moving so fast that they can't keep up with them, and utilizing all of their signature techniques at once. It's not too dissimilar to what you saw Jace and Birder doing from the Ginyu Force. You definitely get a sense that the Trio de Dangers are trying to get revenge against Goku for being made fools of in the preliminary matches of the Tournament of Power, but unfortunately, like many of the other fighters from Universe 9, they really are just no match for Goku and Vegeta. And before I go any further with the other fighters, let me just go ahead and mention that Goku and Vegeta aren't the only ones who are battling against Universe 9. Frieza is also taking his sweet time taking out all of these opponents. In particular, one of the Universe 9 fighters who goes by the name of Rosell, who is this weird, freaky humanoid bat with a giant red eye on his forehead. And Frieza just takes extreme pleasure in torturing this guy. Not killing him, just torturing him. And throughout the entire episode, you get to see that Frieza is totally just gelling on all of this, to the point where Rosell gets so freaked out that he actually runs from outside of the ring. He's willing to actually lose. That's how scared he is of Frieza. He'd rather have his entire universe and existence destroyed instead of hanging out with everybody's favorite pompous-ass villain. Some other fighters that are highlighted in this episode is Chapel, who is my personal favorite of Universe 9, if only just for his design. He's this humanoid dragon who has this iron skin and can breathe fire. Apparently his skin is so powerful that Goku can't do anything in his base form when he actually punches him. Unfortunately, that's really all you get to see of that character, but it's made up for the fact that we have something for all the furry fans out there. There are these two characters by the name of Hop and Sorel. Sorel is this humanoid bunny who unfortunately doesn't do anything. But Sorel, on the other hand, is this female cat with these extendable red claws who seems incredibly fast and devastating and seems to have a personal stake against Vegeta, calling him handsome and wanting to constantly cut him up. Eventually, however, Vegeta does get the upper hand against Sorel and basically just completely completely whips her ass in a scene that's frankly kind of disturbing, as it's not too often that you see a male character fighting against a female character and going like all hard against them. I mean, Vegeta gets so pissed that he kicks her, he punches her, he slams her up in the air and sends her flying out of the ring. It's almost a little disturbing. There's also the other brand new character by the name of Hyssop, who's that big giant blue guy with the spikes on his back. His powers allow him to utilize ice, and he can actually freeze people down to the bone. And he actually tries to do this against Vegeta, but again, it doesn't work. He just powers right through that shit. Hyssop also teams up with this other fighter, who's this humanoid red-looking fella by the name of Oregano, which of course has a very classic Dragon Ball name, as it is a pun on food, and he's actually able to utilize these webs to tie people up. But of course, they all get completely blasted by Vegeta and sent flying out of the ring. I'd say the one fighter who disappointed me the most was the Merman, who goes by the name of Comfrey. He doesn't really do anything aside from stand around and look slightly intimidating. And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of the fighters from Universe 9. They mostly focus on the Trio de Dangers, which, don't get me wrong, they were the fighters that I did want to see the most, but I just wanted a little more expansion on some of these characters, especially considering how incredibly all unique they are, and the fact that they all have these like weird, crazy, monstrous designs. And despite the fact that the Trio de Dangers are able to utilize their abilities and combine them into one, Goku and Vegeta power up, they hit him with a Kamehameha and a final flash, and send Universe 9 flying off into the abyss. Which of course means Universe 9 is the first universe to be erased. And in what might be one of the most creepy scenes of the entire series, Zen-oh wastes no time in destroying their universe. He completely erases it in an instant. They're gone, and to make it all the more disturbing, and something that I think is going to get a lot of people talking, is that when the Universe 9 is erased, their respective angel seems to have this very big smile on his face, almost as if he's content that this universe is gone. I have a feeling there might be another plot here, and it could have something to do with the angels from all the respective universes wanting these places to be destroyed, maybe so that they could begin their very own personal revolution against Zen-oh himself. That's just speculation on my part, but honestly I think it would add a little more dread to an already pretty crazy arc of Dragon Ball Super. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super? I loved this episode. Despite the fact that there was reused animation, I absolutely loved the design of the Universe 9 fighters. I would have wanted to see more of them in action, and hell, personally, if it were up to me, I would have had an episode dedicated to every single fighter, learning about their backstory, and focusing a little bit more on their signature abilities. But we still have a ton of other fighters to get through, so I can definitely see why they decided to get this universe out of the way first. I do have to say, though, I feel incredibly bad for them, especially that moment when both of the Zen-ohs decide to erase the universe. The absolute fear and terror in their faces as they're being erased is honestly horrifying. I also really love the fact that Goku and Vegeta are holding back, not because they want to test themselves and see how strong they actually are, but because they realize that they are in this tournament where they're going to have to reserve their power, and they're going to have to be very strategic about how they do things. I was honestly kind of shocked that Vegeta decided to go blue in this week's episode, but a lot of that probably just had to do with how incredibly pissed off he was after being just ambushed by all of these different fighters from Universe 9. Goku just utilizing Super Saiyan abilities I honestly think was a really smart move, as it allowed them to get their opponents out of the ring. But it's kind of bittersweet. Yes, they were able to defeat their enemies, but when they actually see the reality of seeing these universes destroyed, you can see that Goku and Vegeta are like, oh shit, this is real. This could happen to us at any time, and we have got to be careful. It's really crazy. That and the fact that I'm still just really shocked by that scene where the angel was smiling when his universe was destroyed. Of course, the angels themselves are going to be just fine. They are exempt from being completely erased, and I can't wait to see why that is. Of course, like I said, there could be the possibility that the angels and the Grand Priest are trying to come up with some sort of grand plan to overthrow Zen-oh, or maybe there's something else going on here. Maybe the actual universes aren't destroyed at all, and this is some sort of weird test by Zen-oh himself. He's kind of hard to read, considering that he's this cute little god who seems to smile, and then one moment, he's completely erasing your entire existence. It does make the arc seem all the more interesting, and like I said, it was great to see Frieza in action in this episode as well, just incredibly devastating and intimidating. I can't wait to see if Frieza is going to run into an opponent, though, that's really going to give him trouble, because he is incredibly confident as he just runs a train over his opponents, but I have a feeling he's going to run into someone that's going to completely shock him, and there could be a twist with Frieza actually being defeated early, although if I had to place my bets, I would say that the last 4 fighters from Universe 7 are almost certainly going to be Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Frieza. Piccolo, I want you to be there. I really do. And if there is a top 5, I imagine he is going to be there as well. But we're just going to have to wait and see. There's going to be plenty of twists and turns. It looks like in the next episode, Krillin is going to be the star of that episode, and I cannot wait to see him in action. So this was an awesome episode, in my opinion. It had a lot of great combination attacks, tons of really monstrous-looking fighters fighting against Goku and Vegeta, really slick and explosive action, and honestly, I just felt tense the entire time watching it. I was truly at the edge of my seat. Like I said, if I had a favorite fighter from Universe 9, it was probably Chapel the Iron-Skinned Dragon, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Who is your favorite fighter from Universe 9? Have they truly been erased from existence? Is there some sort of other plot going on with the Angels? What do you want to see from the rest of the Tournament of Power arc? And as a score for this week's episode, despite the fact that there was some reused animation, I got a lot of enjoyment out of this one. Just so much damn fun. There were so many little moments that you have to rewatch the episode again. The moment that really made me jump out of my seat, though, was when Vegeta got really pissed and he ended up hitting Hop, the cat girl, and sending her flying past the ring where she slams into the side of it and it completely just breaks. That was such a devastating move. It was so badass and so classic Dragon Ball in terms of how over-the-top it was with the action. So this was an action-packed episode which must be seen by fans of the series. Like I said, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for all things Dragon Ball Super related, whether that be the anime or the manga version. So thank you guys again for watching this review. Make sure to like the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and as always, stay damn down, baby!